Welcome back. Let's talk about orthographic projection. What is it and why are we doing it? Orthographic projection is a standardized method for representing three-dimensional objects on a flat piece of paper. Now this predates the fancy and very powerful three-dimensional modeling tools that we have nowadays, but orthographic projection is by no means obsolete. It's still considered to be a standard way to communicate shape description. Okay, so anybody that's trained technically will understand an orthographic projection. The other reason we're doing it is it's just a really good problem-solving method for certain kinds of problems. So there are certain problems that are just the best way to solve them is just to lay them out flat on a flat piece of paper. So let's look at it this way. I've got this video here. Let's say you have a cube. Okay, let me start it over. Let's say you have a cube. You could call that the front view. You could call this the side view, and back to the front view, and the top view. So notice how I'm moving the cube around as I rotate it, because there's a standard accepted orientation of the views when you're doing orthographic projection. All right. So there's the bottom view, there's the front view, and maybe one more time. So usually the front view is right there, side view's off to the right, and the top view is above that. And those are the three primary views right there. But okay, front, side, and but there might be additional views. You might want to show the side, the other side. You might want to show the back. You might want to show the bottom. But all of those views are arranged as shown here relative to each other. Okay. So that's the basic standardized way that that's the communication piece. So if you lay your stuff out like that, then people will understand what you're talking about. And the problem-solving thing, we'll see a little bit of that in this drawing and in the future. The other reason we're doing this is it's just an excuse to learn to get better at AutoCAD, to build our AutoCAD skills. All right. There's some methodology here that we go through to construct these things, and I'm going to draw that for you, but you can pull these instructions up and refer to them, which I'm going to do. I'm going to pull this thing off to the side and draw this thing for you. So the first thing I want you to do is not really a drawing, but a matching exercise. So what you're seeing here in front of you is two different projections. Up on the top here, we have what's called isometric projections. People sometimes call them 3D projections, but they're not really 3D. They're still drawn on a flat piece of paper, but they're drawn with these angles here that gives it the illusion that it's 3D. So there's these guys, and then down at the bottom you're seeing the corresponding orthographic projection. So I just want you to match these. So let's take one. Let's do A right here. So here, let me highlight A. So here's A. In this 3D illusion we call isometric. Where is the corresponding orthographic projection? So down at the bottom are all three-view orthographic projections. So what you kind of do is you look at it from the three major axes. You look at it this way, and you look at it this way, and then you look at it this way. So looking down from the top, what do you see? You see a little rectangle, and then you see a C shape. So you kind of look for that in where you would expect to see the top view. There's a rectangle in a C shape. That could be it, but the rectangle's a little bit short. So what? Could be this one, but the rectangle's off to the right a little bit too much. What about this one? Doesn't have a C shape. This one, that looks like it might be it, huh? And it looks to me like the rectangle's a little bit longer across the top. Maybe here's one. See, that's got a sort of a longish rectangle and then a C. That could be it. Then look at the rest of the views. So does this end view correspond to, looking at it from over here? And yeah, it pretty much does. And then what about when you look at it along this axis here? What do you see? You'd see a rectangle, and then a rectangle in the middle, and another rectangle, and then a thing poking up. Is that what you see here? Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm going to say that this is it. So that's your first answer. Okay, and just, you don't have to draw it. Just write it down on a document in Word. So just write 10A for the answer. Okay, so your answer for this is just a list of the isometric representation and the corresponding 3-view orthographic representation. It's just a list of the answers. So do it for that, and then do it again for this. Let me do another one. Let's do, which one do you want to do? You want to do, let's do this one. Let's do R. Okay, so we're going to look at it this way, and what do we expect to see? Sort of an L shape, right? In the front view. So that would be, where is it? Maybe this one, right? Maybe. I'm not committed. I'm just thinking maybe. And now I'm sort of committing, because now if I look at it this way, I'd expect to see a C with the rectangle on top, and that's what I see in this end view over here. And then looking down from the top, I'd see a rectangle and another rectangle, and that's what I see here. And then this channel that goes through the bottom, that shows up as these two hidden lines in there in the top view, and it shows up in the front view as a hidden line. So I think that's it. So the answer here is 13R for that one. Okay, so do that for all of these, all right? And this will just get you thinking the right way about what's an isometric, what's an orthographic, and note the relationship in space between the 3 orthographic views. You've got a front view here, you've got the side view here, and they're lined up along the top and the bottom. And then you've got a top view here, and it's lined up along the sides. Okay, so the arrangement in space is important. All right, I'm going to draw this thing right here, drawing 3, and then I think I'll draw this thing down here. All right, so I'm going to pull these instructions off to my secret hidden monitor so I can refer to them. And I think you should maybe do the same. Okay, but before I pull these off to the side, if you look at this isometric view, look at the dimensions on there. So this thing is 3 inches wide in the front, and then 2 inches wide on the side, and then 2 inches tall overall. And then there's a bunch of 0.5 stuff going on kind of around, and then there's some 1 inches on the top. All right, so keep that in mind, and I'm going to pull this off, and I'll be looking at these dimensions as I draw this thing. All right. I'm going to be kind of drawing all 3 views sort of simultaneously. That's the trick. So we'll start a line command here, and I'll draw a line just across the bottom here, and then I'll draw another line from this endpoint straight up. Okay, now the front view is going to be right in here where I'm wiggling my cursor, and then the top view is going to be above that, and then the end view is going to be over here. So I'm going to use offset a whole bunch and kind of get this thing sort of fleshed in. See, if I offset 3 inches, if I offset this guy 3 inches, you know what, let me pause and make my cursor bigger. Okay, I just got into options and made my cursor bigger. So I offset a 3-inch line. Then I'm going to offset a 2-inch line. Okay, so what have I done? I've sort of boxed in the front view. But if you notice, the top view, at least the width of the top view, is also given by these same lines. And the height of the end view is given by these same lines. So I can offset. Now this is an arbitrary distance, 1 inch. It's just the spacing between the views. Okay? Then I can offset 2 inches on this top thing, and then another 2 inches here. And you know what? I should have made those guys a little bit longer. I'm going to extend them. So extend, you pick the line you want to extend to, enter, and then the line you want to extend. That's not working. Extend. Boundary edges. That one. Oh, you know what? They changed extend, huh? So I just upgraded to AutoCAD 2021. It looks like extend works a little bit differently than it used to. So I guess you guys have probably figured that out already. So anyway, I'm going to do extend. It looks like you just pick straight off the bat something and it'll extend straight up to it. Oh, cool. That's a lot better. You know, that always bugged me about extend, that it did not work that way before. Anyway, okay, now one more offset, 2 inches. Okay, so what I've done is I've located a box in here where the front view will fit, and at the same time I've located a box where the top view will fit and a box where the end view will fit. The beauty of that is that they're going to be the same, and you know, if I mess it up, I'll mess it up on both views at the same time, but you know, at least they'll be the same. It's better if you don't mess up, but you want this consistency here, because that's part of the communication thing. People expect them to be consistent sizes, and then they also expect them to be in a certain orientation. There's that, but this also relates to this problem solving thing. Later on we're going to build on this method and we'll project from one view into the next. Okay, anyway, let me just keep on doing some offsets. So offset 0.5. Let's see, so I'm sort of visualizing what this thing looks like in my head, and then I'm gonna have all of those, and then over on this end view I'm gonna have that and that, and you know, I think I can heavy in some of this stuff now. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna go to red and bold, or a heavy line, and I'm gonna heavy over these things using the intersection snap. So let's start here. There to 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 there. That's that, right? And then there's this thing that pokes up on the top. Now it's 1 inch over, so I'll just use the grid that's underneath here, down there to there. That's what that guy looks like. Okay, and then the front view, I think I need to do a couple of offsets, a couple of more offsets. So we'll offset by 1 inch this thing and this thing. I can heavy in the front view now. So the front view has this little pokey thing that pokes up, and it comes down to here. You see a square, right? When you're looking at the front view, you're going to see that thing that pokes up. You're going to see it as a square. And this thing here looks like that. It looks like another rectangle. You know what? I think I'm going to make these I think I'm going to grab all of this stuff and make it a little bit heavier. That looks good, huh? Okay, that's that. And a couple of more offsets, like 0.5 offset there and there. And I think one more, and I think I can draw that guy. So now we'll heavy in over that. So the little projection on the top appears to be a square in the... I didn't change my heaviness. So this is... You got to change it up here, and that's the next thing you draw will be that. But the thing that I already drew, I got to go back and change it to 0.6. There's that. All right, then finishing this thing up. And let's see, this appears to be a solid line. Yeah. Okay, that's pretty much what this thing, that's not right. Right there, that ain't right. This thing should only go to there, and then I should have a line here to here, and then another line here to here that's solid. Okay, there's some hiddens in here I gotta do. So we'll change this line type here to hidden. There should be a hidden line from here to here, and another one from here to here. And the convention is to make hidden lines cyan. At least it is in this class. So I'll make them cyan. then another line. Let's see, there's a hidden line. This notch on the end view shows up as a hidden line on this view. Once again, I forgot to change the color. Cyan, cyan. I could change everything to cyan right now. Okay, there's a couple more hidden lines, aren't there? Yeah, in here. And in here. Now let me just look at this and think. So a lot of this is just getting this thing in your mind's eye, you know, seeing it in your mind's eye, and refer to the isometric drawing that has the dimensions on it. And that's what I'm doing. I'm looking at the isometric, and I'm imagining this thing in my mind's eye, and then kind of checking it back and forth from the iso through my brain and then onto the ortho. And I'm pretty sure this is, oh no, I'm missing a line up here, right? This line here is the way that this corner here in the end view shows up as a hidden line on the top view. And I think that's it. Let's see if they fix trim. TR for trim. Let's see if I can just cut out. Yeah, I can. Great. Well, that's so much better than before. It ought to let me draw a window. Oh, great. Great. Let's see. I think that's it. Okay. So let's take a screenshot of that. You know, fix the text and stuff, and turn that in. Okay. Let me do one more. I'm gonna do this thing. All right. I'm gonna do this thing right here. So let's look at the dimensions. It's 3 inches across the top and the front. It's 2 inches across the width. That'll show up in the end view. There's a 45-degree notch right here. It looks kind of funny, but that's what's going on. There's a 45-degree notch. There's this angle. I'm not sure what this angle is, but it goes from this top corner down to here. So we'll start off with a square or a rectangle that frames the end view and frames the front view and frames the top view, and then we'll locate like this 1 inch and this 1.5 inches and these inches and stuff with offset, and then we'll fill in the thing. All right. So off that thing goes. Okay, I'm gonna start totally over, delete all of this stuff, and then start with a clean piece of paper here. So we got oops. Okay, let's go back to construction, which we just want, you know, hairline, solid lines here, by layer, by layer, by layer. All right. Then draw line somewhere. You know, F8 ortho will help you keep these horizontal up to there and then up to there. Okay, then offset. Best command in the world, offset. This thing is 3 inches wide, so I'm gonna offset 3 inches, and then I'm gonna offset 1 inch. This is the space between the, whoops, offset 1, enter this guy, offset that guy 1 inch, and then that's the space between the front view and the end view. Then offset the width of the end view, which is 2 inches. Okay, and then this whole thing is 2 inches tall, so I'll offset this 2 inches. Then 1 inch, offset 1 inch. That's the space between the top view and the front view. And this guy is 2 inches in. I totally lucked out on the length of that thing. Okay, and we'll go ahead and trim this up. It's cool. I like the way they fixed the trim command. It's great. All right. So I've represented. This is where the front view is going to be. This is where the end view is going to be, and this is where the top view is going to be. Now we just have to visualize this thing and figure out what to offset. There's going to be a lot of 0.5 stuff going on. That and let's see. I'm looking at the. Let's go 1. and another offset 0.5. There's that. And then I can offset 1 again over here. Offset 1, enter. Okay, I can heavy in some of this. Before I lose it in my mind, I want to heavy this thing in. So line here, we'll go. See, it goes an inch across the top, and then it comes. So turn off F8 ortho. It comes to here, comes to this point, then it pokes out over this way, then it comes down that way, then it goes down over here, and it goes over here, and then it goes over here, right? That matches the ISO. That's what's going on in the ISO. Now, there's also, while I have this up, there's a line that goes here to here, but it's hidden. Okay, so I just drew it, and then I'm gonna go back and change it to hidden. There's that. That's the end view, pretty much done. Okay, let's do some more offsets back on the other two views. So we'll offset 1 inch. This guy that away, and this guy that away, and I think I can heavy that in now, right? So now line. So this thing is, it's just a box like that. Then there's a line here, and there's another one. There's another one here, and then there's two. There's a line here. There's another one here. There's those guys. I think that's it on that. Back to offset. Okay, it's going to be 0.5. That. Then 1. Sometimes you gotta escape back to beginning if you get lost, which I just did. So offset 1, enter, that to that, and I think I can draw this guy now. So now we're gonna draw lines, heavy lines over this thing from the top view. Top view looks like that. Then you've got some little actual squares going on in there. And then there's a line there to there, and a line there to there. So to repeat enter, or to repeat the line command, I'm just pressing enter again. That's what it looks like. And this corner down in here, that would be a hidden line in the top view, except there's another solid line that's on top of that. So it kind of hides the hidden line. And that's it. There's no more hidden lines. These are solid in this view. You see those. When you look at the object, you see it. This guy here, when you look at it, when you look at the object on the end, you don't see that. Well, I mean, the real object that's not transparent, you wouldn't see that line. So you represent it with a hidden line. Okay, that's it. This is orthographic projection. These guys are laid out in a certain orientation relative to each other. And then the methodology that I'm using where I'm offsetting like that is, it's useful for orthographic projection, but it's useful for more than that. It's going to let it turn into a problem-solving skill that is very effective on certain kinds of problems. So I want you to kind of lay it out like this. I think that's it. So draw all the rest of these guys. I just did 2, but draw all of these in isometric representation. I guess it's 4 drawings, is it? Yeah. Draw all 4 of these, and then do the matching exercise and pretty that up in a nice document and send it to me. All right, thanks. Hope this was helpful to you. See you next time. Bye-bye.